Microsoft Teams is a collaboration app in Microsoft 365 that helps your team stay organized and have conversations all in one place. Hi, I'm Dawn. In this training, we'll explore what you need to know to start being productive with Microsoft Teams. Teams brings together chat, meetings, calling, content collaboration, and shared files and apps in a single, secure location. As we continue, we'll look at an overview of the Teams interface, explore Teams and channels, work with chat for informal conversations, learn about scheduling and attending meetings, and also see how you can work with files and apps. The Microsoft Teams interface includes a navigation bar where you'll see notifications about your recent activity, chats, teams, meetings, files, and apps. Let's look first at teams and channels. A team is a collection of people, content, tools, all based on a specific project or group. So here, for instance, is a company-wide team for the Contoso organization. All teams will start with a general channel, and then additional ones can be added as needed. But here we have a team that's more project-based, and unlike the company-wide, not everyone would see this or be involved with this team. Or it might be department-based, such as sales and marketing. Now, as you can see here, teams are made up of channels, and you build those channels by topic, department, projects, smaller work groups, and it could even be for some fun. So channels are really where the real work gets done, where you hold meetings, have team conversations, and share and work on files. You might think of teams as different houses with each channel as rooms in the houses. So let's explore this sales and marketing team in a little bit more detail. And by the way, these teams can be moved up or down in your view so that you can give priority to the ones you want to work with more often. One of the things that will help you in Microsoft Teams is to understand a little bit more about the visual information that we see here. If a channel is in bold, that means that there's been some additional activity since you were last in that channel. Here we see an indicator which is telling us that we've had some @ mentions, that is, some specific mentions to us personally or to that team. The explanation mark indicates that we have a message or conversation that's been flagged as important. If I click on monthly reports, we would see this important message as part of this conversation within this channel. As we continue, I'll show you how to create and manage teams and channels. But for now, let's step back to explore a little bit more about the Teams interface. In the navigation bar, we can see that we have some additional indicators. Activity is showing you everything that's happened on your team and all of your unread messages, replies, mentions, and so on. This number here is simply telling us that this much was missed, or that we've got this much to look at. And then we can follow then this activity to see exactly what happened. And it could be that someone mentioned you or that someone reacted to a post, all of this activity here. So you can make a determination about where you should go next. The nice thing about this activity as well is that there is a filter. So within that, I could type in a specific word that I'm looking for, and notice how that filters down the mentions or the activity, whether or not it's something that I've seen before. Chat is where you can start a conversation with one or more members of your team or organization. This is also where you can make video or audio calls directly from chats. In the calendar, you can view your weekly schedule and easily create new meetings. In calls, if this option is enabled by your organization, you can use this area to call people or sometimes even to capture voicemail. From the files icon, we can then see all the files that have ever been shared by the team. And the apps icon, this gives us the ability to access additional apps that we could run or work with through Teams. The command box at the top of the screen gives us the option to globally search items or people, take quick actions, and launch applications. And then finally, our profile in the upper right-hand corner. This is where you can customize settings, change your status for availability, and have access to other key areas related to you within Teams. So we'll explore some of these options in more detail as we continue our look at Teams. Let's look next at creating and managing teams. In most organizations, everyone can create a team. However, many of the teams you need may already have been created, and so it's a good idea not to have a huge number of teams, which can make it more difficult to bring people together on a common issue. Depending upon your needs, if you have a short-term project, for example, a channel within an existing team might be the best option. But what if you want to join or create a team? We can start this at the bottom where we see this option, join or create a team. Here you see all of the available teams. Teams can be public or private. Public teams in your organization will display automatically. If it's a private team, it's possible that you have received a code to join that, or you may have just been automatically invited to that, and so it would already display in your list of teams. For this, I'll create a team. Next, you have two options. You can build a team from scratch, or you could actually create it from an existing team. That is, it could be a template. If, for instance, you were building a project team, there might already be a structure set up from a previous project you'd worked with. In this case, I'll build a team from scratch. From here, we pick the type of team. Is it private, where people need to be invited to the team or need to request the ability to join that team? It could be public, meaning anyone in your organization can join it. They aren't automatically included, but they would be able to, and they would see that in the search and the ability to join that team. Or is it organization-wide? Everyone in the organization automatically joins it. In this case, I'll make this private, and this is a project team. Once you've added the team name and a useful description, choose Create. Next, we'll add some team members. As you start typing, you'll see any organization members that would match that name or information. It could be a distribution list as well. Now I have my team members. I will add them to this brand new team. For right now, everyone is a member of the team. I'll explain more about roles as we continue, and we'll close. So here I have my new project team. I'll move that up by simply dragging it to make that a little bit more accessible. It can be helpful to know that by default, every team gets a general channel. Now, this is a good one to use for information and announcements that the whole team needs, but for specific issues and topics, you want to create a separate channel. In this general channel, I start a conversation. Now notice as I click into this, that this could just simply be some standard text, but we have some other options as well. Specific formatting, attaching a file, emoji, GIF, stickers, stream, which gives us the ability to work with videos, to record, praise, and there's even more. And this is a flexibility that we have within Microsoft Teams. For now, I'll put in a standard message, but maybe we want to just brighten that up a little bit with an emoji. And we'll go ahead and either hit enter, or you can click the send arrow on the right. Notice as well that the channels will reflect the activity that takes place. The nice thing about Teams conversations is that you can actually edit this message. Now you can only edit your own messages, but that gives us a little bit more flexibility if we forgot to mention something or we have a typo, anything like that. Now, if you hover over the message, one of the things that you might notice here are these reactions. So these are similar to some of the reactions we see in social media platforms. We also have the ... This is something we see throughout the Teams interface. From more options, Notice all of the possible things that you can do here. We could delete this message, we could copy a link to it, and we could edit. And what I want to do is have an @mention. An @mention is handy in a conversation because it's a way to either flag the entire team, the channel, or even individuals. And this is a way to then further notify those people that there has been some activity. Notice when I type the @ only the team members show up. And I could select one of these individuals so that they are mentioned. But I want this to be for the entire team. For that, I'll type the word team. If you're in a specific channel, and pick this from the suggestions. An @mention could also be @channel. So this would call attention to that new conversation within the channel for anyone who has flagged notifications. Because I'm editing, now my options are a little bit different here, and I'll simply hit the checkbox to say that I'm done. This indicator here tells us that there is an @mention. Over time, existing teams can also evolve. And let's look then at how to manage a team. For the Mark 8 project team, we'll go to the ... for more. And here we have options such as leave the team, we can add a member. For this, I'll manage team. Within a team, there are 3 possible roles: owner, member, guest. Now you must be a team owner to invite guests. If you're creating a team, you automatically become an owner. So we can see that we have multiple owners for this. Owners can add or delete members from a team. They can even delete a team. To help share the load, it's good to have multiple co-owners of a team. That way, if you're not available, other team members can take care of the team. And it's frankly a good practice throughout the use of teams, as owners may leave the organization. But anyone who has access to this team would be able to see who is part of it. And here we can see then the additional members, their role within the organization. And we can also add other members, view the channels that are available in this team. Here you'll see the descriptions, which can be really handy, and explore other information about this team. For my new team, I'd like to add another person to that. And once again, we'll go to the ... for more. And although I could go to manage team, here I'll simply choose add member. And I'll add Nestor to the list. What if I want to change his role? That's where we go back to manage team. And I have my members and guests. Here is Nestor. Under role, in the drop-down, I will choose owner. But now Nestor and I are both owners of this team. I'll return back to the general channel. And for this, I want to make this an announcement. So Nestor's not only new to the team, but he's also new to the organization. This is where we go to format. And what happens here is that this opens up our compose box. And this gives you more flexibility for formatting, for the size and style of your text, and to create something that's a little bit more robust, such as you would have in word processing or even an email. For this, I want this to be an announcement rather than a conversation. So now I even have more options in terms of how this might look. And further formatting is available over into the right-hand side, where I could choose a background image or even change the color scheme here. I'll send this now, and it will display within the general channel. As a team evolves, you'll likely want to add other channels for specific work. That is, not everyone in the team may be involved in more focused projects, and it helps to keep things organized as most people are part of multiple teams. To create a channel, I'll go once again to the ... add channel. Any of the team members can do this. In addition to the channel name and description, another option is the privacy. The default is that this is a channel that everyone on the team is able to see. Another option is a private channel within the team. So a private channel is limited to specific members. In fact, a private channel can even have different owners than the team, but all the members in the private channel would need to be part of the larger team. A private channel might be for financial or personnel issues or things that are a more limited, secure conversation. Only the people that are part of that private channel would see it as a channel within that team. We'll keep this as a standard channel, but I want everyone to see this in their channel list. And we'll add. At the top of each channel are tabs. And these are how you organize your work with links to files, apps, and services. Every channel has 3 default tabs. There's Post, and this is where your team posts messages, replies, conversations, where you can hold meetings and even share files. We have Files. This is automatically then where shared files are stored and can be accessed and can even be co-edited. You'll see some options to be able to directly upload a file, download a file, sync files. Here we have a variety of actions that we could apply to this file, including how we'd like to edit the file. And then our third tab is a wiki. This is an optional area where you can draft documents, you could track meeting notes, and collaborate in real time. So tabs aren't just containers for your content, they're really active places where you can get your work done. For this channel, we not only have those default tabs, but there's another tab here which is actually a document. And so this document has been added as a tab for easy accessibility for review and editing. To add important tools to the top of a channel, click on this plus, add a tab. For instance, we could add OneNote to provide easy access to a shared notebook, or add Planner to create a project board for tracking team tasks. One of the things to pay attention to when you're in a channel and a conversation is that these are threaded conversations. And that means that all of the replies to an existing conversation are directly under the previous messages. And that's a good thing to keep in mind. That is, if I really want to respond to this comment here, that I want to reply rather than putting my own separate conversation. However, if I want to share something separately, then I could start a new conversation here, and I'm going to attach a file. Navigate to the location of the file, select it, it will be part of this conversation. I'll use an @mention here, and I want to @mention the channel. And I'll send that. As we saw earlier, by hovering over an existing message, this is also where we have access to different options for it, including reactions, and those will show up then for that message. As this isn't my message, I can't edit it, but I could mark it or save it, bookmark it. That is a way to save things that are more important or that you want to reference later. Next, let's explore the other collaboration tools of Teams in more detail. Do you want to talk privately with a person or a group? That's where you use chat. This is the more traditional chat that is typically one-on-one. It doesn't have to take place in a team or a channel. I want to start a new chat here, and I could either use the keyboard shortcut Control-N or just simply click on that pencil. And I want this message to go to Alan. I'll hit enter to send that. Notice I have other options. I could have started this as a video call, an audio call if that's supported in your organization. I could start screen sharing. Could add people to this. Or I could even pop out chat, which is a great feature when you might be working on other tasks in Teams or other projects on your computer. If I have Teams minimized, or I'm working on another project, I'll see this notification that Alan has responded to my chat. And now I have an update for that. And depending upon how formal or informal my organization is, then we might add a GIF or something else fun to response. Or it could simply be a simple reaction. Now, because Alan and I are going to be involved in a number of different projects together, I want to go to the ... here, and I'm going to pin his name, our chat, to the top there so I can easily get to that. In Calendar, you can see everything you've got lined up for the day, the week, or the work week. This is easy to change in the upper right-hand corner, where we can select that we might want to see the entire week or focus just on the work week. This is also where we can schedule a meeting, because your meetings list stays in sync with your Outlook calendar, so you always know what's going on. So if I want to schedule a new meeting, I'll simply choose that option here. I'll add a few people to this meeting. You could also invite other people who are outside the organization. So the meeting doesn't require that they have Teams as they access the meeting through their browser. But this is an internal meeting for our design project. And when do I want to schedule that? I'd like to schedule that next Tuesday. And it might be a little hard for me to know about availability, so this is where I could go to the scheduling assistant to see when we might be able to do that. And it looks like a lunch hour might be really helpful for us on that. So go ahead and select this, and we'll go back to the details. If we want, the meeting could take place in a specific channel, and I'll do that in the design channel of this project. This also means that everyone would get a notification for that meeting in the channel. And I'll send this. That meeting not only shows up here in Teams, but it also syncs with my Outlook calendar. Another option in Calendar is Meet Now. This can be for a more impromptu meeting. This is also available for us in our Teams and specifically within a channel. So here we have that Meet Now option, as well as the choice to schedule a meeting. Either way, this takes us to the same place where we can then start a quick meeting. I can put in a title here, decide whether or not I want to turn on video, and choose Meet Now. So now I have the option to invite other people to that meeting. As with other Teams meetings, here we have a meetings toolbar where additional actions are available to us. Let's wrap up this tour of Microsoft Teams by looking at the command box. So wherever you are in Teams, the command box is always there at the top of the screen to help you search, take actions, launch applications. For instance, to search for a message or a person or a channel or even a file, just type what you're looking for here in the box. One suggestion is simply the sales and marketing team, or I could hit enter to see what other matches there might be. And then this would take me directly to those conversations. Another way to leverage the command box is through slash commands. And you can either type in a slash at the top here, and here we have quick access to some common actions. Even faster or easier, because we don't have to navigate up to the command box, is Control and the slash. From here, we see a list of descriptions where you can access specific content, get help, or even change your status. Pick the one you want or just type it. So for instance, we have help, keyboard shortcuts, what's new, and access to files. And that's our look at getting started and saving time and effort with Microsoft Teams. Thanks for watching.